Says we are live.
See that.
Have my coffee, have my rum. I should be good. Who knows? Nobody may show up. I don't know. Gail will be here.
Yeah, that's true.
And I know that the Hendersons were going to be here, but they both have to work, so they will not be. All right. All right, and we have people. Okay. So I'm going to kick off our intro here with a Shri. Who's your mama? This week on the Mr. Throwback Thursday podcast, we bring you a new supergroup, another remake, a Tiny Desk concert, the return of a classic, the rise of a genius, a reason to have Audible, and a very special guest co-host. What else? Let's listen.
It's not just any day. It's Mr. Throwback Thursday.
Now with strength, street now.
And now, here's your host, Bill Winters, and Mr. Throwback himself, James Robbins.
Welcome to episode 421 of the Mr. Throwback Thursday podcast. This is Jamie, of course, and this is not Bill.
I'm not Bill.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever heard anybody as happy to say that.
I'm not Bill. I'm so excited.
Welcome to the co-host seat, the one and only incredible Jeff. Welcome, Jeff.
Hey, thanks for having me. This is quite the treat. Oh, this is super treat.
Gail seems to be excited. I can put comments on the screen and everything. This is cool.
StreamYard is freaking crazy cool.
Yep. If you guys have not heard, based on our special guest, we will be giving away tonight a 1 pound bag of beans from Death Wish Coffee.
Wow.
Yes, I don't have that one because I hate that sound.
I'll just keep making it with my mouth.
Yes, you do it. It's like in our Red Man drop. Red Man does it with his mouth. He goes, fran.
Yeah.
I'm like, Urgh. But yes, so as Tammy is showing you here, put in any of your comment section, put hashtag DWCC, and you will be entered to win this bag of coffee. And who knows what else I may pull out of the prize box to throw in there as well. But you need to stick around the end of the show. Otherwise, I can't get your information. So
It's true.
Yeah. So we've got a very, very simple format here. We do hip hop headlines. We do Woo News. We do a couple records. Jeff is going to read some lyrics this week.
So excited.
You say that now. I remember when Bill was excited too. Now, this is my favorite part about having guest hosts on because, Bill kind of gets used to it. It's like, I got to find something really off the wall to catch him. Guest co-hosts have never done it. So it's I can throw all kinds of things at you.
Absolutely.
All right, welcome, Rob. Oh, while at work. That's the way I like to see it. Pop in to see us while at work.
All right. Get paid, get entertained.
I don't know about the entertaining part. You're going to have to carry that part.
I will try my best.
All right. Well, then I suppose we should probably just get into it. And I'll kick this little intro for our hip hop headline segment. And then we'll talk about whatever it is that I told you we were going to talk about. Sound good?
Sounds great.
All right. Well, let's hit a little bit of this here, Triple H.
This is Hip Hop has brought to you by Mr. Throwback Thursday.
All right. Well, our first article comes from Rock the Bells, which is kind of strange when you're getting your news from an XM, well, not XM anymore, a Sirius XM radio station.
Yeah.
But they're letting us know that two, I don't want to say super groups, two hip hop groups from the past
There we go.
have gotten together and are forming what they want to call a super group. And I guess by definition, sure. But it's
Well, first, let me stop you right there. Getting together, they took a photo. Like, like, do we even believe that? Like, until I hear the first beats come out of them, like,
yes,
they're not a super group. They're not even a group. They
no,
took a photo.
And it says they've talked about doing music together in the past,
Yeah.
but they didn't.
Yeah. They've also beefed with each other in the past.
They have
a lot. So,
Yeah,
what are we getting?
And you got what? Bone Thugs and Harmony.
Yep.
And the Dog Pound.
But it's not all of them, right? Like, it's not all the Thugs, and it's not all the Pound. It's just like a smattering of both.
But which is why they Thug Pound. Yeah.
Thug Pound.
Nobody's buying a Thug Pound album.
It doesn't really roll off the tongue.
No.
I mean,
and I don't know how you make it better.
I don't either. But I mean, usually when a super group comes out, it's either like completely left field, like which this is, or it's something that like both fan groups can't believe is happening,
Right.
Is that here? Are there Bone Thugs and Harmony fans that are like have been waiting for 30 years? Like they're gonna do it. They're gonna get together with the Dog Pound. Like
I have to.
I don't know if that happens.
When they do it, I'm gonna be here for it.
Yo, Turbo Vikings, Pound Harmony, definitely.
That's
way better. Way better than
Yes.
Thug Pound. Pound Harmony, way better. Although Pound Harmony does sound kind of like a girl pop group from the 90s, maybe.
It does. And there was a
Yeah.
female rapper called Harmony. She was in Boogie Down Productions.
All right.
Yeah. And she
I
had a
don't know.
song called Pound Cake. So I don't know if John's been listening to the Harmony album or,
I don't know. I saw this article come across, and it's like I've seen it a million times where people will be backstage with other people. They'll take a photo, they'll post it, and everybody goes wild about it. But again, until I hear beats, I'm not gonna believe that this is even a real thing.
But who's going wild over either one of these groups, let alone the two of them getting together?
I don't know.
I
will say for Bone Thugs, they consistently tour every single year since their inception, and I mean, they're
just less and less of them.
Yeah, just less and less of them.
And
I'm
they
not
just
sure
had a
about the Dog
versus.
Pound.
No, I have no. I know Dog Pound had like an album.
Yeah, do they tour on that album? I mean, they might.
Probably.
But
They may have been hanging around with Snoop. I don't know. But yeah, this is not an album that I don't know anyone who would go out and buy this album.
No.
I may check it out on Spotify just to hear how the two sounds come together.
Yeah.
But I'm probably not putting it up as record of the week or anything.
No. And it would be like an interesting thing to see as like, I mean, you brought up Snoop. So it's like you go to a Snoop concert, right? And then like the special guest, the surprise guest that's not on the bill is Thug Pound. And everybody goes, what? And then they come out and they play and you're like, wow, I saw that. Like that would be.
I was there for the one performance.
Yeah. So like, I mean, in that respect, like that'd be cool, I guess. But
Yeah,
again,
I think Bone has pretty much become a novelty act at this point on their own. I mean, they've got some great songs. Don't get me wrong. But at this stage of the game, when was the last Bone album? So
I don't even know. Yeah.
They're like a county fair act.
Yeah. They've played my local county fair. Actually.
See, there you go. And I'm sure that Dog Pound is making their rounds through Long Beach or wherever.
Yeah.
But I don't see one having the strength to pick the other one up and go, look, our guys got you,
Yeah. Although, okay, so let's just flip the script on this and say
Sure.
that you and I are dead wrong. And cut to a year
could
from
happen.
now, and both you and I are just going to be like, I cannot get enough of Thug Pound. I never knew that this record was going to be like my
Not
album
the
of
I
the
knew I
decade.
needed. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. That's not going to happen.
It is not.
But it's hilarious. It was like, it's like, we said it here first. Like, I
We
can't
noted it
believe
here. No one will buy this album. Man, I love that album.
Oh man,
It could happen.
it could happen.
It won't, but it could.
It could happen.
Okay. Sticking with Rock the Bells, which is something I don't usually double up on sources for a week, let alone put them back to back.
Yeah.
But they're the only people who had the information. We've talked about this before. They're redoing House Party. LeBron's. Okay, I'm with you. LeBron's company is remaking House Party.
Yeah.
And it's going straight to HBO Max, which isn't like
Fine.
a straight to DVD release like it used to be. HBO Max is a
Right.
big deal.
Right.
And it's going to be coming out for the summer. I think it's July 28th.
Yeah.
First, why?
Why?
Because there's already been 14 house parties.
True. My biggest problem with the remake of this is like the reason why House Party existed wasn't just a cash grab, right? Like it
Right.
wasn't just like the old white guys of Hollywood being like, we can cash in on that hip hop craze in the 90s. It wasn't just
yes.
that. It was taking an established act, Kid and Play,
Mhm.
and then showing that not only hip hop can play to a white audience, a black audience, whatever audience it wants to play to, but it also can create movie stars out of hip hop,
Yeah.
musicians. Where is that in this? Like I looked it up because I didn't even recognize the names. Now Jacob Lattimore is a hip hop artist,
Okay.
but I don't recognize anything that he's done. He's young. He's like 25. And Tosin Cole is best known for being on Doctor Who. So nerds are super
Wow.
excited for this thing. But I mean, like, it's not like that Kid and Play. And again, I just want to bookend my little rant here by saying, if this movie comes out, and I'm guessing Tosin Cole and Jacob Lattimore are the main, they're not Kid and Play, but like they're the main
Right.
two guys
They're
who are
the
gonna
Kid and Play characters.
row the house party, right?
Right.
I swear, if you do not get Kid and or Play to be the ornery dad of one of them,
Yes.
then it's a missed opportunity, 1,000%.
The last one that I saw, because I'm a glutton for punishment, I watched House Party, whatever the direct-to-TV one was.
4?
Tonight's the Night or something like that.
Yeah.
It was awful.
Yeah.
But the kids get their recording contract at the end,
Mhm.
and they're in the studio, and the producers come in, and it's Kid and Play. And Kid and Play
Okay.
break down to them, just in the last 2-3 minutes of the movie, they're there,
Mhm.
and they say, we were like you, blah blah blah, and the kids start to do the Kid and Play kick step, and Kid goes, "Don't do that no more." And that was the end. That was the end of the movie. So like, that was kind of cool, being so far removed from the movies they did
Right.
to be brought back into that one.
Right.
Yeah, I think if you don't at least get them in a cameo in this,
Yeah.
you're blowing it.
Yeah. And then the other thing that kind of like, now again, I will leave this to the screenwriters and the people who are going to make this movie, but
And LeBron.
but take the premise, right? House Party.
Mhm.
House Party worked like all of those movies and premises worked
Yes.
back in the day because, I mean, depending on how far back in the day you're going, nobody had a cell phone, or rarely, very few people had a cell phone.
Right.
Right. And interconnectivity wasn't what it was now. So like you could get away with the rowdy teenager party, right? Like,
Yeah.
I'm not saying that still
Don't
can't be
answer the
written.
phone.
Right. I'm
The
not
house
saying
phone,
that
yeah.
still can't be written, but a lot of that movie worked in the time frame that it happened, right? And
Yes.
to do that in 2022, they're going to have to kind of update a lot of that. Yeah, riding the wave of success from Space Jam 2, for sure. For sure.
Yeah.
Space Jam 2, spoiler alert, is going to win all the Oscars. Not just one, it's going to win all
Not
the
one's
Oscars.
going to win them all.
So, LeBron has to double down and remake, beloved 90s hip hop movies like House Party.
Yeah, and they're working on another How High, and Method Man and Redman aren't in it, and so. But to your point, you in the original House Party, Robin Harris,
Mhm.
who the
Excellent.
incredible Robin Harris,
Excellent.
keep telling kid to get off the phone because he's waiting on a call for some overtime.
Right.
So there's one phone, it's the house phone,
Right.
and that's it.
Right.
And then he knows where kid is at this party, and he's got to walk there because he can't call over there. He can.
Right.
So
It
all these
creates
things.
this whole scenario, right?
Yeah. Yeah. It's
So-
supposed to be the same story as the original.
Mhm.
But I don't think you can't make it play now.
Yeah. Pun intended. You can't make it play
Yeah.
now.
Exactly.
What's the line? I'm trying to remember from the original. When Roger Harris asked him to come downstairs to eat breakfast, and he's like, it'd help if you didn't call it shit, Dad. Oh man, now I gotta go watch House Party. I haven't seen House Party in a minute. Like that movie.
Well, watch it
still
now.
great.
Don't wait until July 28th on HBO Max.
Yeah,
But you
absolutely.
can do what I just did. I just watched the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the
Nice.
Tobey Hooper masterpiece, and then I watched the new Netflix one.
What do you think
because
of the new one?
Uh
I haven't watched it yet.
okay. What do you know so far?
I know that they're trying to do this kind of the same way they did Halloween. So like this movie is going to pick up from
The end of
like
part one.
the events of part one, which is the 1978 version of that, or 76.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So they waste a lot of stuff.
Mhm.
They set it up and then they just completely waste it.
Mhm.
Um
I'm still gonna
There's a lot
watch
of-
it.
I was the same way. There's a lot of cool
Yeah.
kills, like
Yeah.
creative. I mean,
That's
when
cool.
you've seen them all,
Mhm.
and then you get to see a couple of new approaches, you're like, wow, why hasn't anybody else ever done that? That was really cool.
Yeah.
But it's a slasher film. It is what it is. Hey, John's here.
Hey, John.
So yeah,
I'll watch it.
you should at
figured
least watch it.
that was going to be the general feeling of the movie. Though.
Yeah,
It's
like the
nah,
Halloween. I was very happy with the original Halloween. Okay, not the original. The first
Yes.
new Halloween.
Yes.
I did not like the finale.
Yeah. Well, we haven't seen the finale yet.
Well, yes, we have.
Anyway,
Yes, they're all
House Party.
finales, but yeah, the
the
part two.
House Party Chainsaw Massacre should be should be a movie.
It's a new super group.
Yes, the new super circle right back around. That is how you craft a good joke. people.
Yes. Just gotta get people to stay long enough to catch them all. That's all right. So Hot New Hip Hop brings us our next article. Okay, you're familiar with the Tiny Desk concerts that
Yeah.
NPR does.
Absolutely.
A lot of hip hop ones.
Mhm.
One that I never ever thought I would see in my life is Todd Shaw, known as Too Short.
Yeah.
Too Short does not fit the NPR mold in any way, shape, or form. He used to go by Shorty to Pimp. He was a pimp,
hmm
but he's done one, and it's a from home. So it's like Tiny Desk at Home series,
Yeah, quarantine upped the game on Tiny Desk. Like I've seen a lot of the Tiny Desks throughout the years, and there's some really great performances, some really iffy performances too.
Mhm.
It was always at that one annex in their, actual studio.
Right.
And so ever since, COVID happened, they kept it going, but basically made everybody do it quote unquote from home. It could be from your home, or a lot of artists have done it like in their recording studios,
in their studio.
or like,
Yeah.
or in like a music video type studio or whatever. So like I think that's opened up the game for Tiny Desk and has allowed artists to still at the center of it be the idea, stripped down sets, like kind of like storytellers kind of thing, but makes it a little bit more comfortable too, because it can be their setting and their comfortability. And I'd say
Right.
I think that was what made the Too Short one really cool. I watched the whole thing today and it was awesome.
He's not your standard artist though for this. He's when every fourth or fifth word in his song is bitch, he just doesn't quite fit the mold. I love Too Short. I always have. and this brings him back to his selling tapes out of his trunk sound.
Totally.
You know, he's never been overly super produced or anything. His stuff is always like you could beat on your table and make his beats, you know.
Yeah.
So he does fit very well with it while not being the artist you would ever expect to do it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it was great too, because he starts off the set, you know, and then it, like, by the end of that first song, he's just like, I'm going to take you through 5 decades. of
5
music, and how many
decades.
people can do that? And I'm like, oh, that's awesome. He's going to bring us around. He's like, we're going to start in the 80s. And before I could even think of it, he goes into Life is Too Short. And I was like,
Yes.
wow, like I never would have ever thought that like that is on Tiny Desk right now. And again, I'm not that familiar with some of his later stuff. Like,
Right.
but like that
album,
holy crap.
we're gonna take back to 1990.
Uh-oh.
My senior quote in the yearbook says, "You can take back all the things you give, but you can't take back the days you live." Sounds very poetic. It's fucking Too Short lyric from Life is Too Short.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
So yeah, so if anybody ever pulls my yearbook and looks at my right underneath it, that's what it says. Todd Shaw forever.
Forever. Nah, that rocks. I'm glad that NPR, you know, like it's always been an open and an inclusive space for anybody to kind of do a Tiny Desk, and like to see someone surprising like that. And the whole set is great. Like,
Yeah.
it's great.
Yeah, and they've kind of gone backwards from what Versus did. Versus all started in people's homes.
Yeah.
You know, the artists had to record or do this whole thing over their own Instagrams, you know,
Yeah.
and link up. And now they're playing the Barclays Center and MSG, you know, it's
Right. Yeah. It's pretty cool. I was
sad thing
glad
is
to
we
see
saw the good shows before.
Absolutely. They're all done. They're all done. There's nothing else that can do. Yet they'll do it for the next 10 years.
Yeah. Well, not that it's news. Well, it's news, but it's not in the show. Versus is now making people pay
No. Like pay-per-view?
because they sold it to Triller
That's the death
like a
of it.
year ago. Yeah.
That's the death of it.
And they've
The
been
whole
running
point
it
is
free
you-
still.
Yeah, the whole point is you can just tune in and like be
Yeah.
a fly on the wall of these, you know, of two
Well, like,
giants going
Yeah,
at each other.
KRS
or
One
whatever.
and
Yeah.
Big Daddy Kane went at it, and that was
Yeah.
ridiculous.
To pay for that, it's like, I'll wait until someone rips it onto YouTube.
I will wait
Which
until the
sucks to
next
say,
day.
But you know, yeah. But yeah, that's
Yep,
that's
the next
death
day
of it.
when 83 accounts have it on YouTube and you can't take it down, you know, I'll find
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I always say I'll call it my friend Nefarious Means, and
There you
know,
go. There you
brother
go.
to Natron, and we'll find it. We'll get it done.
Yeah.
I've done that for our Fresh Flicks. You know, once a month we all get together in StreamYard here, and the patrons when we watch a movie. And there's been a couple. I said I want to watch this movie, and it's not on any streaming service, and I don't have the DVD.
Yep.
Call my buddy Nefarious, and ta-da! There it is.
Always
Everybody
good
gets
have
to see
a
it.
buddy like that. Yeah.
Let's see.
Absolutely.
Oh, okay. One of the things we've talked about in here before is Bun B from UGK.
Uh-huh.
Bun B is an adjunct professor,
Okay.
and I cannot remember it was. I know it's in Texas because that's where Bun B is.
Mhm.
So he's forever become Professor Bun B when we talk about him. And if I ever get him on the show, I will refer to him as Professor Bun B until he tells me not to.
He'll love it.
But now, the first female MC Shah Rock,
Yeah.
is also an adjunct professor.
That's awesome.
And what school was hers? I know it's in Maryland.
It's Bowie State.
Okay.
Yeah.
And they're one of the ones that have hip hop history
Yeah.
as a course of study,
hmm
which I think is awesome.
Yeah.
Like-
It's
Like I would go back to school for that, and especially if Shah Rock is my instructor.
oh my gosh. That's the craziest thing is, you know, it's like to break down barriers like she did at a time when the music genre itself was breaking down barriers, you
Mhm.
know, like is enough of an accolade that you've got that, you know, next to your name in the annals of history forever. But you go back to the 70s and 80s and you tell any of these people who were desperately trying to craft hip hop into what it was, right?
Mhm.
Like, you go back in time and tell them, one day they're going to teach this in school. Not only are they going to teach this in school, they're going to teach about you in school. And not only are they going to teach about you in school, you're going to be a teacher.
Yes, that's the big thing.
I can't even fathom that.
That is like a deep inception.
Yeah. It's awesome to see that that they hired her to do that. And I think that, like, I'm with you. I would take that class in a minute.
Yeah. I mean, because she started off in Funky 4 plus one more.
Yep.
She was the first hip hop act on Saturday Night Live because Debbie Harry brought them on.
Yep.
She's been on the show. I have her book here. She's incredible. So she was there before she was a rapper. She was a B-girl. So, I mean, she's been there from the handing out flyers till now. She's still around. I mean, she was a police officer after all that. That's one of the things you don't usually hear about is, okay, rap icon. Okay, well, you don't rap anymore in your 40s and your 50s.
Right.
What did they do? You don't hear about that a lot. Like, I know a few artists who are still doing stuff but have day jobs,
Yeah.
But you don't ever hear about it. She's very open. She's like, yeah, I went to law enforcement, blah, blah, blah. I need to make money. I need to support my family. She was part of the Sugar Hill label.
Yep.
And the Sylvia Robinson and her family ripped everybody off there. Like, she's still in litigation over her money 40 years later. So
Crazy.
she's got a lot of history that she was there for, that she can teach these kids firsthand. Like, whatever the curriculum says, I mean, because I'm sure it existed before her. I'm sure she can come in and go, no, that's not right. Let me tell you what really happened there.
Right. Right. Yeah. The amount of kids I think that would be in that class, like, with the amount of questions they'll be able to ask.
Yeah.
Someone who was there. How many times do you have a professor that's teaching you the thing that they were a part of? Like,
right.
That's so cool.
Because if you're going into a hip hop history course, you know something more than young this guy and little this guy. I mean,
right.
you have an interest or a love of, or whatever, of classic hip hop. So you know who she is coming in.
Yeah.
Like, holy shit, Sha Rock is my instructor,
Yeah.
It's not just these, skeet guys.
Skeet. No, it's super awesome. And this is it's the only institution in Maryland that actually has that hip hop studies. And I know they're very few and far between across the country too. So
yeah,
that's super rad.
I think there's one like in Arizona or something.
Yeah.
I remember when they came out, there's a very few of them. But
yeah,
and you would think at this stage, I mean, I don't know what that goes into as far as your degree, what that builds toward. I don't know. But you would think at this stage of the game, where hip hop is the number one music genre, that somebody would go, all right, well, you know how many people we can get to take this course and pay for this course?
Yeah.
Why don't we add it to our curriculum? In media studies and whatever you're putting it in. Yeah, I don't understand why more people aren't doing it.
Well, hopefully with, putting people like her in charge of this, and the success that will inevitably come from Sha Rock, like being Professor Sha Rock, will, like, hopefully open that up into more schools. More schools will take notice and want to do the same thing.
Yeah. Like you say, you got Professor Bun B, you got Professor Sha Rock. You get Professor KRS-One. I mean, come on.
Yeah. Oh, man. I'm signing up for that class.
Yes. He calls himself the teacher already.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Gail said in the 70s, it was rock poetry for an English requirement.
Yeah.
A lot of people study Bob Dylan. You say he's the greatest poet.
When you can understand the marbles that are coming out of his mouth.
Yeah, him, Tom Petty, they're the same person. All right, well, we talked about House Party coming back, and being opposed to that.
Yeah.
How about the greatest? Okay, and people will argue with me and say Arsenio, the greatest spreader.
Yep.
of hip hop across the country of the 80s and 90s.
Yo, MTV Raps.
Yes.
Yo, that show changed my young adult life. It really did. Like it was the greatest spreader. I don't care. I don't care about it. I don't care about any other thing that you're going to put into that. Yo, MTV Raps.
Arsenio is the only thing that I would counter with as far as bringing it into like the Midwest, into their homes at night unexpectedly. Yo, MTV Raps, you had to look for. You read it in the title. You knew what you were getting.
Yeah.
If you're watching Arsenio because, Madonna's on that night,
Yeah.
and then you get Third Base performing, you're like, holy shit, what the hell is this?
Right.
But no, I think that Yo MTV Raps took you to LA to hang out with NWA.
Mhm.
It took you to Atlanta to hang out with Outkast in the dungeon. Arsenio had them there.
Right.
Like, you're on my stage, you're in the comfort of my office here, everybody's
Right.
sitting down. Go ahead. But they're making a return.
No
Now,
Dr. Dre and Ed Lover this time.
No. And I'm sure somewhere Ed Lover's pissed off about that.
Mm-hmm.
Probably out
There
there.
he
Come on, son.
But Dr. Dre is blind.
Mhm.
I can see him not wanting to get back into, but what they're doing is they're bringing Yo MTV Raps for this generation.
Correct. And I think that's great.
Yes. I'm not going to watch it.
No, it's not for us.
It is not. We are not the target audience. No.
No.
But I think I don't know how well it's going to do in the world of YouTube,
Right.
which we obviously didn't have.
Mhm.
We had Yo MTV Raps. We had Dre, Ed, and T Money coming into our home. We had Fab Five Freddy taking us around town.
Right.
We didn't have anywhere else to go.
Yeah.
So success wise, I don't think it's going to match because it has competition.
It does, but if
And
they,
it's going to Paramount Plus too.
where most of MTV lives now,
Yes, yes.
and that's great. And I think, like that can bolster that streaming service. And I think if they adhere to the aesthetic they want to bring back, which is the core of Yo MTV Raps, but for this new generation, I
Mhm.
think it can provide things that YouTube doesn't, right? Like obviously there will be the ability to kind of see these either up and coming stars or established stars who are kind of like changing the game for the younger generation, and that'll be great, live performances and all that stuff. But they've said in this announcement that there's going to be quote unquote ciphers and lifestyle content too.
Yes.
If they do it correctly and actually do really good, well produced cipher content, that'll be something that you rarely get, in
Mhm.
YouTube. And then that lifestyle content, like you said, like being able to like see Outkast in their natural habitat,
Mhm.
or to see, like anybody, even go to the host, like Dr. Dre and Ed Lover, go on location
Yeah.
and like interact. Like that was content that was interesting because you're seeing like, for lack of a better way of saying it, how hip hop lives, right? Like,
Right.
and how does hip hop live now other than the glamour and the music video that you see, right? Like, how do these musicians and these artists actually like, what do they do? It was the same model that they did with Headbangers Ball back in the day.
Right.
It was the idea of like personifying the larger than life rock star. And it's the same thing with hip hop, it's personifying that larger than life star. So I think if they adhere to that, I think it could be very successful, but I think it has an uphill battle for sure, because it's not going to, you're going to want to produce this show on the nostalgia of people like you and I who are like, oh my God, Yo MTV Raps was the greatest show ever. And I'm so glad they're bringing it back. And if I were to turn on that first episode, I'd be like, I'm never watching another episode again, because it's not going to be for me. It's going to be
Right.
for this new generation.
Yeah.
But is
and
the new generation going to care?
that's the thing. Right. So it will it's targeting us, but not.
Right.
So it's like I went a few years ago to the Barclays Center for the 30th anniversary Yo MTV Rap show.
Hell yeah, you did.
And one of the things they were talking about there was that they were going to be bringing Yo back. And then I never heard anything more about it. I was digging and trying to find things. I was talking to the guys who set up the show, and
Yeah.
there was nothing. And then all of a sudden, here we go. It's back.
Yeah.
But
It probably
I
took
will.
this long, because of probably because Paramount and and the legality of getting everything together and
Mhm.
jumping through all those MTV hoops. But yeah, I don't know.
Tom says his first hip hop tape was NWA. That is very
Okay.
ironic, being a lieutenant in the police department. But yeah, and then one of my favorite shirts I've ever seen springing off of Tom there is the police, Sting and company. It says "fuck NWA."
Mhm.
So-
Pretty good.
It is, yes. Yeah, but do you know any of these people that are
No.
supposed
No,
to
and
be doing
again,
this?
that's not for us. Conceited and DJ
And
Diamond.
DJ
Cuts.
Diamond Cuts.
Yeah. But again, they're young. I mean, I'm
Right.
looking at a photo of them right now. They're both young. I like that it's a guy and a girl too, because you get
Yep.
like that different perspective, which is cool.
And it had that
and-
106 and Park feel to it too.
Yeah. Yep, for sure. And if they if they make it successful by leaning into, like I said, that lifestyle content, that stuff you can't get on
Mhm.
YouTube, and then they also, if it does kind of gain a little ground and they lean into nostalgia and get maybe Snoop Dogg or somebody, to kind of come on there as OG or whatever, that would only bolster this. And I think
Yeah.
I think it could be successful, but it
Yeah,
could
I think because
be a flash in the pan.
there are still artists out there, we play them on here all the time, classic artists that are still putting out new content.
Mhm.
So to sprinkle them in or have them on occasionally, because, again, it's not for us and that music is not for the people who are watching, but
Right.
as kind of a change of pace, educational, I think that would be cool. Because take KRS-One, for example. About a month and a half ago, he put out a new song,
Mhm.
new video.
Mhm.
It's great. Drop something like that, a name that everybody knows.
Mhm.
You say, oh yeah, by the way, KRS-One also has a new one. We're gonna play his new video, and then we'll get back into Little Boo Boo Head or whatever his name is.
Yeah.
I think it would be smart to sprinkle in classic artists with new stuff.
I agree.
But, and to promote it like they used to, and we'll have a world premiere video from whoever on the next episode.
Right.
Okay, well, I can't go find that anywhere because it's going to be world premiered on Yo.
Mhm.
I'll go check that out.
Yeah.
So I think that's how they get people like us.
Right. But
And
we'll
have a
see.
world premiere video from whoever,
Yeah.
Redman.
If it just becomes a I don't know, a new hip hop TikTok house of just nothing, right? Then it'll
Yeah.
probably run for a season and die on that service.
Yeah, and then the people won't even know it left.
Right. Yeah.
If it does that badly, nobody's gonna go looking for it.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, we bring it back to Netflix here, and a guy, speaking of people I don't like, Kanye, I would call him by his name, although we refer to him the way Michael Che did, pass. He has a, would you call it a documentary?
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to watch it, but
I don't either. Good.
reading this article made me want to watch maybe the first part of it.
Right, because it says it's younger days.
Yeah.
It's three parts.
Yeah, I think so.
Younger days when his boys were following him around everywhere with cameras, just documenting everything new
Yeah.
that was happening.
Yeah.
And him fighting to get where he was, and then the third part they say is basically they weren't there
Yeah.
for whatever reason, whether he left them behind, whether they just didn't have the time to just hang around him anymore. I don't know. So they say that it falls off after that. I don't like him.
Yeah.
I don't like his music. That's a personal preference.
Mhm.
Because I hear he is super talented,
Mhm.
sure, but I think he needs to be medicated.
Definitely. And it's a shame.
Well, but that's the thing. I do not want to watch this to find out that I should feel sorry for him.
Yeah.
Dude's got multiple billions of dollars or whatever. He's an eccentric lunatic
Mhm.
who probably has multiple mental health issues.
Yeah.
But that's like making me watch a documentary on Jeff Bezos and feeling sorry for him.
Yeah.
I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
I'm going to hate him because I want to hate him. And you're not going to make me feel bad for hating him because he got diddled when he was a little kid.
Yeah.
I don't want to know.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel the same way. I'm not a fan of the person that Kanye has become, which is probably the person he always has been, right? You know?
Right.
I, like a lot of people first found out about him when he did Blueprint for Jay-Z. And then, what I was reading in this article, which I thought was interesting, is like all of the footage around him after that point, right? Like, because you don't even think about it now because he's Kanye West. But
Right.
at that point, he couldn't get anyone to listen to his own material.
Right.
He was only a producer, and even Rockefeller Nation was like, go the hell away.
Yeah.
And that's kind of
Stay
interesting.
behind the boards. You're
Yeah.
excellent there.
That's kind of interesting to me to see that, like, because he did have a hustle, he did have a drive, and he did have a talent. I will say, I still think College Dropout is a great record. And that's the only record I like from him.
Mhm.
I actually have a personal connection to College Dropout, which is really weird.
Really? Do tell.
Yeah. So College Dropout, obviously, for people who might not know, I mean, that's one of Kanye's biggest records. It's got Through the Wire, which is the track that basically pulled him out of being a producer into being an actual star, because Pharrell helped him produce that. A bunch of other good tracks on there.
Local here, by the way, Pharrell.
Yeah. And he started recording that record, and then it took him years because A, nobody would listen to it, and B, it was just him kind of like cultivating all these sounds and everything. He was recording it originally in a studio in New York, I think, and then recorded some of it in his home studio and then a couple friends' studios and stuff, and was like kind of piecing it together. The last record I recorded, actually with friend of the show, Kane, our band Angels on the Fourth, recorded it at this studio, now defunct, Edie Road, up in Argyle, New York. And they recorded all the kids choir for Jesus Walks at that studio. And we were actually talking to the guy when we were recording our record. We were talking to the guy about, like, did Kanye come for that? And he's like, oh yeah. And he like kept us up all night and was like telling us stories like all night, and like and it was kind of fun to like think like, oh man, like we're in like the same like musical space as like he was at a moment. But yeah, that's my connection to Kanye.
Well, the only other person we've had on here that had one was Drez from Black Sheep, and his was not as flattering.
No.
Yeah, no, he has some good stories about Kanye. Ones that we enjoyed. How about that? Kanye fans probably would not.
Yeah.
Now, my biggest issue with his sound, like, I think he was an incredible producer.
Yeah.
Just like Piss Dookie. He should have stayed behind the boards and made all his money. Kanye's voice and his delivery, I can't stand.
Yeah.
And I think that's why I can't listen to what he's saying, because I can't listen to him.
Yeah.
It's like Jay-Z. I don't think Jay-Z is bad.
Yeah.
I just don't like him because of his voice and his delivery. I just don't like it.
Yeah, I can agree with that. Even me saying, like, I like College Dropout, I can't listen to that record front to back. There's too much of Kanye. And it's to say, I'll say the same thing with Jay. Like, I like a lot of his records. I don't listen to a lot of them front to back because it's too much. Like, I like Jay a lot more when he's with other people.
Yeah.
But
John said he's got to roll out. Have a great show. Thanks, John.
All right, we will.
Yeah, as we talk about the genius.
Genius, yeah, geez. Yeah, and I just feel bad because he's like one of those people who are in the limelight now who obviously have some sort of mental issue, obviously have some sort of health problem.
He's got all kinds of problems.
They're unfortunately surrounding themselves with yes men. Like they're their entire inner circle is inherently designed to not give them help, and that's the saddest part. And
I don't believe if you were anyone willing to offer help, no matter how well he knew you, that he would allow you to stay in his circle.
Absolutely.
Because I am the genius. I know everything. I know there's nothing wrong with me.
I mean, even look at some of his most high-powered friends like Jay and Dave Chappelle. you know, who have went to bat for him multiple times, and he has just kept them at arm's bay and is just like,
Yeah.
I know what's best. And it's like, sorry.
Yeah.
Sucks.
Don't you know who I am? I know everything.
Yeah.
I know that Pete
Genius.
Davidson is banging my old lady. Have you heard some of this stuff? He's
it's
bought the house next door.
That's just, you know, and when he did that originally, I was like, oh, that's actually nice because they've got kids together. So
Yes.
it's like, cool. Like their dad, like, yeah, they're going through a divorce and like they're split.
But he still wants to be there.
The dad's still there. And like, you know, that's good for the kid. That was my initial thought. And then it was like, oh no, he just wants to hide in her bushes and like send stuff with the flowers. And it's like, oh my God, like, oh, I feel so bad. I never thought I'd say these words out loud, but I feel so bad for Kim Kardashian. Like, I really do. Like, she had such a charmed life, you know, that I shouldn't feel bad for her at all. But
not at all.
That suck. That sucks to have to go through what she's going through. It really does.
And poor
especially
Pete.
Because it's not just a celebrity relationship gone wrong. You know,
no.
This is a mother who's dealing with her children, who is with this crazy person, and now she has to deal with this on a daily basis, and I feel bad for her. I feel bad for the whole situation.
Yeah, I always laugh though and say I think Pete's just along for the ride. He doesn't care.
He is.
None of this bothers him at all.
You know, he getting slightly off the hip hop deal, but you know the movie Airheads?
Yeah.
Okay, so Adam Sandler's character Pip in the movie Airheads, that's Pete Davidson. There's a moment where he's screwing the intern of the radio station in the movie, and Michael McKean looks to Steve Buscemi and he's like, how does he do that? And Steve Buscemi's like, that's Pip. It's the dumb sweet guy. He just gets more. He like gets more bumper than like a Jeep or something like that. Like, so I forget the line, but that's Pete. That's literally Pete Davidson.
Yeah.
He's that guy.
Yeah, he's got a character. What is it? Is it Chad? Is that his character?
Chad. Yeah.
Where he's just like, okay. I believe that's Pete.
Yeah, absolutely. And
Kanye's coming over to shoot you. Okay.
Good for him.
Yeah. All right. 2000. I think it's 20 years. 2002. Jam Master Jay was murdered.
Yeah.
Which was ridiculous. The entire thing happened. We're actually going to watch this upcoming on one of the Fresh Flicks. 2 Turntables and a Microphone is the name of the documentary.
Nice.
Where they discuss how it was that Jay got killed and how nobody knew.
Yeah.
You know, nobody would say who it was. Nobody knew who it was. It happened in his studio with a bunch of people in the studio. People came in, Jay got shot, they left. Nobody knows who did it. Last year, we had Fredro Starr on the show, which was incredible. We had Fredro from Onyx on the day that they caught the guys who killed Jam Master Jay, and Onyx was under Jam Master Jay's label. So he was there, or they were his protege, basically.
Yeah.
So it was really cool that we found out that day that we had Fredro on.
Wow. I can't believe that it's taken this long, not only to catch the guys, but then put them on trial.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's set for September or something like that.
Yeah.
So you know you've got them. You brought them in last year.
Yeah.
Speedy trial, maybe?
I hope so. I hope it is. I hope they throw the book at them and then it's good. God. The closure for everybody involved, like
yes. Yeah, Fredro was he said I know. These people knew. Now they found out, blah blah,
Of course.
Yeah.
They actually talked about this when 8 Mile came out. And there's that whole sequence where I forget it. Oh yeah, that's great. It's been a minute since I've seen that movie, but there's that whole sequence where Eminem's, I think like his friend gets stabbed or like something goes down in the studio and then nobody talks. And like when the movie hit, that was what everybody was talking about, was like, oh, is this because of Jam Master Jay? And they were like,
Right.
no, but like, yes, because shit like this happens, and it's
Right.
a shame because it's not like this is high profile, and so at least we're talking about it. But like stuff like this happened in the 80s and 90s, and it just happened, and then
Yeah.
they're still unsolved, and it's terrible.
Yeah. I mean, how many documentaries and movies are there about Biggie and Tupac?
Absolutely.
People know who did it. They have to.
Yeah.
Just
Absolutely.
just like with Jam Master Jay, people knew. They saw the people. Now, whether they were afraid
Mhm.
of the people or the people they were affiliated to say anything, I don't.
Yeah.
I mean, there's. I don't talk to police. That only
Right.
goes so far.
Right.
When your mentor was shot in front of you, or
Yeah.
or your best friend or your brother was killed in the studio, you're not going to say anything.
Yeah.
So there's
Well, I mean, it's not even police. I mean, like, not to go off on a tangent, but I mean, you talk about like Biggie and Tupac, and I mean, like, you have to bring up Suge, right? And like,
yes,
like, as much as people didn't want to talk to the authorities at that time, he was the authority
Mhm.
of those circles. So it's like you didn't even want to step out of line or have this semblance that you were stepping out of line. Yeah, snitches get stitches. Exactly.
It is.
So it was a very, very sticky situation
Yeah.
for everybody involved. And you're right. There are a lot of people know exactly what happened, but no one will ever say it.
Yep.
And that sucks.
But they've got to have enough on these guys to have pulled them in and have a trial date set.
Absolutely.
So hopefully, those who know don't tell. Those who tell don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, okay, this next one I got from Variety. It's all over the place. Do you subscribe to Audible?
Actually, I just restarted my account probably last week because I wanted to listen to a book, and I was like, I used to have an Audible account. So yeah, I just restarted it.
Well, let me recommend some books to you when we go on a break. But you can also listen to Mr. Throwback Thursday podcast on there.
Yeah.
But Chuck D, a voice that I never get tired of listening to, I can listen to his albums front to back with no issue,
Absolutely.
has a podcast.
Yeah, I
Which-
can't wait to hear it.
Yeah, I haven't checked it out. I will find a way.
Yeah.
And it's what is his actual Songs That Shook the Planet? Is that
Songs That Shook the Planet. And when I originally read this, I was like, oh, cool. He's going to deep dive on every instance of fighting the power that he's ever done, right? Like that's what I just thought of.
Right.
Because
You
so
think
much
Chuck
of his
D-
music has shook the planet, but it's not that.
It
He's
is
diving
not.
into all the songs
The
that have
Planet?
that have shook the planet. And the big one that obviously that they talk about is What's Going On,
Right.
And but I mean, think of that times a million, and he's just going to dive into all that. And I can't wait. I really am going to listen to this.
I like that I think he did he said People Get Ready, Curtis Mayfield, and
Yeah.
he said there's a whole list of songs that he could just rattle off, but they're too easy.
Yeah.
They're the same ones that you would think of that I would think of. He wants to go deeper, maybe a more obscure topic
Yeah.
and a song that impacted that topic heavily.
hmm
And I did like too that he said, I'm in my 50s now, so my list is different than when I was in my 30s.
Yeah.
Which is true. I mean, we're 10 years different. I bet you I could come up with slightly different stuff than you.
Absolutely.
We cross over a lot, but
No, but it's the truth. You have more, to dig from. And I like that he's gonna dig deep on that and try to, he said there's something that's might be due to be discovered. So he might even just, find some stuff that a lot of people haven't even thought of or haven't heard of in a while. What I thought is really, really cool is not only did they announce this, but they announced that he's gonna do a PBS show called The Story of Hip Hop with Chuck D.
yes.
And it's legit because PBS is doing it.
Yeah.
And it's produced by the BBC. So it's two big hitters right there,
Yes.
right? and it's just going to be a 4-part series that's going to trace hip hop's culture, starring Chuck D. Like, where do I sign up for this? Like,
Yeah.
I'll watch
Well,
that.
Everybody talks about, if I could have somebody narrate my life, it would be Morgan Freeman. It would be Chuck D for me.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
He just put out new music recently. Him and R.A. the Rugged Man together.
Oh, yeah?
That's nice.
I know that.
That's why I'm here.
That's why you're here.
I have
I
no
think
other
that's-
purpose except to say, hey, and this guy's got new music.
I think Songs That Shook the Planet is going to be pretty great. I guess it's been out for a little bit now because I guess
Yeah, a couple episodes I think he's got.
Yeah, but I definitely want to start listening to that. I think that's going to be great.
Yeah, I could just sit and listen to Chuck tell stories.
Yeah,
So this is kind of like an unplugged setting. Chuck D sitting there going, "Oh, and I've got this record in my collection, and this one makes me think of this," and
yeah, for sure.
or the storytellers, yeah,
for sure. Yeah, it's exciting. I like
Yeah.
that. I like that we're getting stuff like this. Now.
yeah. NPR with Too Short, PBS
Yeah.
with Chuck D,
Yeah.
Shot Rocks as Professor. Come on,
Yeah.
Well, with all that, I think it's time we take a break,
All right.
and we'll come back with a little bit of Woo News, episode 421. Come right back. Yay! And this is where we take a break, but nobody knows we take a break except for the people that are here. Allows me to set up some stuff. If anybody wants to ask Jeff questions, ask Jeff questions.
I'm here for questions. I'm doing my best.
You're doing incredibly well. Not that folder, not that folder. How about
Who is Jeff? That is a question I ask myself every single day, Brian. Who is Jeff?
Ah, they're hitting you with the
Mug
good stuff
release.
now. Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. There might be a golden ticket coming out soon, really soon. Right, really soon, maybe.
See what happens?
fun.
Affiliate program.
Something fun.
Ah, see, Gail would like to see Deathcast come back.
Just might be.
Mm-hmm.
Just might be. We're getting there. Brian, I am the media master for Death Wish Coffee Company and a giant fan of all things Mr. Throwback Thursday.
Yay, except for Bill.
I did not play Lumpy on Leave It to Beaver.
Nice reference, though. Not Eddie Haskell, went straight to Lumpy.
Who's my favorite artist? We talking hip hop? It's tough because you have to go genre, or not genre but era.
Era, yeah.
Yeah. Old school. We've said it a million times. KRS-One. I don't think anything holds a candle. But not like middle school. Like we'll say. Like I grew up with Snoop. Snoop was like that young thing when I was really young, and like I love Snoop, and now I cannot get enough of Kendrick. I think he's the future of everything. I really do.
I believe he has taken the baton, and it's up to him to figure out what to do with it now.
Absolutely. And that's just 3 off the top of my head. Like there's so much. Hip hop is so dense,
Yeah.
in a good way, not dense. In a bad
Yes. Not like me.
Yeah.
All right. Well, if you're prepared.
I'm prepared.
All right. Well, I'm going to hit this drop, and then I'm going to play the Woo News intro, and then we'll shimmy, yaw.
For the children.
Yay. All right. Let's do this with a Shri. Woo's your mama?
Some DJs are even. But here's a little something about my DJ. The magnificent Jazzy Jeff. So bust his beat.
Hey, this is DJ Jazzy Jeff, and you are checking out my homeboys Jamie and Bill on Mr. Throwback Thursday.
Yo, Jazzy!
1 2 1 2 1 2. What's good, yo? This is Ghostface, straight from Staten Island, New York. And right about now, it's time for Woo News with Jamie and Bill. I know what it is. Get it correct. Mr. Throwback Thursdays. Jamie and Bill. You know what I mean? On Woo News. That's what's going down right now. Y'all check this out. Exclusive. Peace.
The RZA, the Jizza, Raekwon, Master Killer, Inspector Jack, You God, Method Man, Ghostface Killer, and old dirty bastard.
It's now time for Woo News with Mr. Throwback Thursday.
Shimmy on it.
Welcome back to episode 421. Mr. Throwback Thursday. It's time for Woo News. And I think we woo over here.
Woo.
And we've got count them, two pieces of Woo News this week. The first one comes to us from OK Player. And it has to be said like that every time. You can't just say from okplayer.com. It's got to be from OK Player.
Okay, player.
And it's the RZA coming out talking about violent concerns in hip hop. We don't.
I just want to say though, that's the headline, but it's really
That's not where it goes.
It's really RZA talking about his new record with DJ Scratch. Like that's
With
really
DJ
what
Scratch,
it is.
yes.
But he's also concerned about all the violence in hip hop.
Yes. We'll come back to Saturday Night Live. You ever see that one with Steve Martin where he's like, for all the children of the world to be singing peace and harmony? Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah, absolutely.
First was the thing with all the money, then it's the thing with the kids. Yeah. No. I've read a few different articles about this same topic. He's got a concern, and it's a fair concern, that hip hop today is basically leaning toward the guns and the violence and the money and the I'm a gangster, you're not.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what's getting all these kids caught up and shot, is because you know they're out there being fake gangsters and real gangsters are calling them on it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so there's been a lot, proportionately more deaths in the past couple of years of hip hop artists than there has been in the past, say, 20 years.
Yeah.
And it's all these young kids, most of whom I've never heard of, but I see, you know, the name will come up, and it's a lot of time it's little this guy or young that guy. So I understand, I'm like, oh, he's one of these new kids. And what we don't have now, and we'll come back to KRS-One, that we had in the 90s is self-destruction. You know, you don't have that musical movement to spark the discussion to tell all these young kids, you know, you don't need to run around saying, I sell drugs, I shoot people, I do this. All that's going to get you fucked up.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
I wonder if, like lots of different music genres, if we're just seeing a cyclical nature in hip hop, right? Like, I wonder if, because, you know, hip hop is the music of storytelling. It started out, you know, innocuous very, very early on as, you know, just telling the story of your day or whatever that was, you know, the feeling of that moment.
What goes on in my neighborhood.
Rapping over the beat kind of thing. And then that morphed, you know, over the next decade into a more violent nature, because my neighborhood is violent and I'm going to talk about that. And I grew up violent. So like, there's going to be that. And gangster rap came from that. And then it kind of shifted again into more, instead of like gangster, it's I'm famous, you know, and here's how much money and women I have and cars, and I'm going to rap about that.
And look at this infinity stone I put in my forehead. And...
Right. Is it now just shifting back down, and because of that seesaw effect? I don't know. I'm not asking for an answer. I'm wondering if it is that history repeats itself type of thing where we're seeing it again. We're just seeing it now in a worse state of the world. Guns are more easily accessible. You know, kids are more easily acceptable to be in the limelight and have access to these things
and posting themselves on Instagram, and this is where I am, and this is what I'm doing right now. And Geotagging is a real thing.
Yeah. So I don't know. I like. I mean, I'm glad Riz is talking about it, I guess, but it's like, it's also like, I don't know. Do something, man. You're
Well,
RZA. Like I don't
that's-
need to hear it from you. Like, this isn't new news, right? Like,
right.
how
If you're
about-
coming out saying this is what I'm seeing, so I'm talking to
right.
this guy and this guy and this guy, and we're going to put together something to mentor these young kids, like Chuck D and Curtis Blow are doing with their like reviewing their contracts and stuff before they get into the music business.
Yeah.
You need people to guide these kids. Another issue I have with Jay-Z, all these young kids look up to him because he is super rich.
Yep.
He is super
He's a
business smart,
man.
That's what I've heard. But he'll still sit there and tell you about how he was slinging cocaine in Marcy Projects.
Yeah.
So now you got a young kid who goes, okay, if I go out there and I sling cocaine and I go through all this, I'll be taking the same path that Jay-Z did, and I can end up as Jay-Z.
Right.
That's one of my big issues with him. And just like Eminem, that's why I call him Marshall Mathers. I call him Al Bundy, because everything is, oh, and I was poor and my mom hated me and she did. Okay, look, dude, you're a multimillionaire now. Get over it, move on.
Yeah.
That's not what you need to be singing about now to these kids.
Yeah.
You know, tell them how you went and bought a new house and how you invested money and, you know, how you'd be like 50 Cent, you own vitamin water, whatever.
Right. Right.
Show them where you're going, not where you've been. Everybody can figure out where you've been. They've all heard it before on your first album, your third album, your fifth album, whatever. So the people in the industry that these kids are looking up to, the giant names, the giant business, Master P is a giant business. Not a great rapper, but he's
giant business, but he's a brand.
Nas.
Yeah.
So you need to, okay, you don't need to be Charles Barkley. You don't need to be a role model for these kids, but know that they're looking at you.
Yeah.
And if you say, I was slanging rock when I was 14, they go, I'm in, and that's what gets these kids killed. So indirectly, you're contributing to their lifestyle, whether you want to or not.
Yeah.
So you need to change, and your fans are now our age. They don't want to hear that stuff either.
Yeah.
They're going to buy it because it's you, but
yeah, I think what's lost on a lot of like new hip hop, right, is, and again, I'm no expert, but I mean, I think what's lost on a lot of it is that you're still being a storyteller, but you're not telling a story anymore. You're just saying the stuff, like you said, like I was a crack dealer and now I'm rich and famous.
Right.
That's the whole premise of what you're doing. Whereas if you look at the true storytellers who still were saying those things, but still had something to say, Eazy-E, Ice-T, Biggie, these people, like, I mean, if you dissect their lyrics, you're getting more out of it than just, I'm coming from that, right?
Right.
This isn't the example that I'm telling you to follow. This is the example that I'm telling you where, like, what you can draw from that. And again, maybe I'm completely off base on that, but I think that a lot of that violence is happening because the only message you can take from some of this newer hip hop is that face value, do drugs, shoot guns, get famous equation, right?
Yeah.
Like
throw money,
right?
Yeah. No. And then you see these guys who get caught, like, okay, guy dresses up, pulls out his big bankroll and leans up against somebody else's fancy car to get his picture taken, and the guy comes out and catches him.
Yeah.
I've seen a few of those. I'm like, dude, rent a car.
Yeah.
Go to a dealership, go, hold on, let me get a picture real quick. Let me see how this looks. To be hitting people up at a gas station leaning on their car,
It's ridiculous.
And people believe that's your car. And that's what gets you shot. Where's that car?
Absolutely.
Oh yeah, I said we had two pieces of Blue News. The second piece was not RZA and Scratch have an album out. Although we did play the video from the first single. It's like Saturday Morning Kung Fu Theater, I think was the name
Yeah,
of
it's
it.
the name of the record too, I think.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. Anyway, we're going to flip to somebody with an acting career that is probably, at this stage, is probably as large as his recording career.
Yeah, I'll agree with that.
Because there are people who know him. Well, let's just tell everybody who it is. There are people who know him as much for his acting as they do for his music, and some people who don't know any of his music but know him as an actor. Like know he's a rapper, but may not know any of his stuff.
True. But I got a problem with this. I love Method Man. I love him to death, right? But I will say this. I'll go on record saying this.
Uh-oh.
Ice Cube has a more prolific acting career and can actually say he has an acting career than Meth does. Because 99.9% of the roles that Method Man portrays in any movie he's ever been in, what is his character? Method Man.
In the movies that he's been in so far, yes. His TV shows, different.
Yes. But I mean, really, predominantly all the roles that he does is he is Method Man. He's either showing up as himself or the movie is built around him being freaking Method Man. That's it. Whereas Ice Cube
or Ice-T,
but I mean, okay, yeah, we can get into Ice-T, and dude's been carrying that show on television for 20 years. Like, he's a detective. It's
and
insane.
he wasn't supposed to be in it. He was supposed to be in it for like a couple of episodes.
I know. But like Ice Cube, has been in probably as many freaking TV and movies as Meth, but
are we there yet?
He's different characters. He's not. I mean, there has been stuff where he's been Ice Cube, but very rarely.
Doughboy,
all the way back to Friday and everything. He is a real character in that. So I just have a problem with that, saying that Method Man, is like the whole premise of this article from
Take Me
Essence
Serious.
is Take Me Serious, and it's like, I am your Method Man, and I believe you every time you show up, and you're like,
that you are Method Man.
It's like I'm not going to say you're the greatest actor because you're showing up as yourself.
Yes.
If I showed up as Method Man, then I would be the greatest actor in the world. But like, I cannot do that.
Well, you can. You probably get called on it though.
No, that was like me just saying that out loud. I think I got canceled on 3 social networks. Jeez.
Yeah, there was a show. It was only on for one season. I was really pissed off they canceled it. It's Teenage Bounty Hunters.
I never saw it.
Look and see if it's still on Netflix. It's got Method Man in it.
Yeah,
he's not a main character. He's like a side character. But it's like him and Kadeem Hardison were bounty hunters, and like Kadeem Hardison went one route, and Meth went another route, and Meth became like the super. Like Dog the Bounty Hunter, he's like on TV everywhere and he's famous, and Kadeem is just like working side jobs, but he's great in that.
That's ridiculous. I gotta say, we brought it up earlier. One of my favorite movies, How High. He's great in it. He's Meth, but he's great in it.
And Red Man is red, yeah.
It's red. He's great in it. And for them to remake that movie without them is just a tragedy.
It is.
It just won't work. I don't care who you put in that movie. It's not going to work.
Yeah. Meth's trying to get into the MCU.
I wouldn't be sad about it. As long as it's done correctly, but I wouldn't be sad about it. But again, I mean, Meth's done stuff with Marvel.
Well, he was in Luke Cage.
He was in Luke Cage, but
he was Method Man.
Right.
Like, not even a character. He was Method Man.
Straight Method Man, right. But I mean, like, he's done stuff both from the comic perspective and also, the television perspective too. He's done stuff with Marvel, so he's in that camp.
He was on Comic Book Men.
Yes, but the idea of him being a character, I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, like I said, I have not watched. Was it Power? That's.
Oh, the thing he's in now, Power. What is it called? Power Book 2.
Isn't that 50 Cent? Didn't he?
I think
Isn't he responsible for that series?
I think so. But I don't know that much about it because I haven't seen it. So
no, I don't have whatever streaming service it's on.
Yeah, I don't have it either.
I would have to talk to my friend Nefarious and see if I can hook that up.
Yeah,
because I would like to see him act more.
Yeah, he's good.
Like, yes, I would like to see him as Clifford Smith.
Him, yeah,
not as Method Man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I imagine it's hard to not be Method Man.
Of course. When
I
you're
mean, 'cause-
Method Man, why would you want to be anything else?
Exactly.
Why would you want to be anything else other than Method Man? Like you
Yeah,
you
if you
you
can be
won
Batman, be Batman. Otherwise, always be
you
Method
won
Man.
the person lottery right there. Like,
Yeah.
you are Method Man. Don't deviate from there. You're
Yeah,
good.
yeah. You didn't even want to be Clifford Smith anymore. You wanted to be Method Man, so you became Method Man. You know?
Yeah.
It's- yeah. I wish I could be Method Man.
Me too.
But alas, we are not.
But I'm glad that we at least get to live in a world where Method Man is here.
Yes. As an actor and a musician.
Yes.
Just like to see him act more.
Yes.
But let me bounce back to the MCU real quick because things like this drive me nuts. If Method Man were brought into the MCU,
yeah,
as whoever, would that not cause an issue? Since Method Man was in the Marvel universe as himself in Luke Cage.
I mean, yeah, no. I mean, like there's all sorts of like discrepancies, not to go completely geek town on you, but like there are all sorts of discrepancies in the MCU. The one of the big ones is like
Captain America was
was Human Torch, yeah. But not only that, like both in the Captain America Civil War movie and also in Thor movies, they reference Star Wars. So Star Wars, the franchise exists,
right?
And then yet, Sam Jackson and Natalie Portman are both a part of this thing, And so, like, the idea of like, wait a minute, like, are they the
multiverse?
Same person? Yeah. So, like, yeah, it would totally work. You could put meth in there, and that'd be fine. That would.
Okay, so he can be himself in one world and a superhero in another.
Yeah, but
another universe.
I would. Then that's the thing is, I would rather him like show up as like a character and not be Method Man.
Well, that's what he's talking about.
In Luke Cage, we've gotten that in stuff. Eminem tried it. Eminem was in a Punisher comic, and it was Eminem and the Punisher trying to, go after bad guys, and it was like, why? What is happening? Like,
your boy played a good Punisher, John Barenthal.
Yeah. Crazy geek news that we might get more of that on Hulu.
Oh, really?
Rumors going around, yeah. Yep. Because Hulu's owned by Disney.
Right.
So like Disney would want to.
So they don't want to put it on
Disney Plus because it's a show about a murderer. You need him to murder people. So
that's who he is. That's what he does.
Exactly. So
yeah, and then bring Daredevil over there and have him. And
why not?
Wilson Fisk all back together and talking about having an Echo
Cage
series.
Gotta get Luke Cage back in there.
Yes, that was my absolute favorite of all
Not
the
only
series.
Was that a good, not only was that a good show, anybody who's listening to your show, if you have not gotten the Luke Cage soundtrack, you are doing a disservice to your record collection. That is one of the greatest soundtracks, and I'm talking both soundtracks. I'm talking the actual, track by track of all the awesome hip hop that's in that show soundtrack, and then the actual music that was created for that show.
The score,
soundtrack is both of them are excellent.
And the entire first season, every episode was named after a Gangstar song. The entire second season after a Pete Rock and Seal Smooth song. That was smooth. Cheo Dari Coker, look out.
So good.
Enough geek stuff. We'll be here all night.
It's a hip hop podcast.
Yeah, I can edit stuff out. It's like next week for anybody listening right now, this will be edited out. But for you guys here, we'll be recording next week's episode on Sunday at 3 p.m.
Whoa, switching it up.
Yeah, well, because my guest co-host next week will be Imran from the Jock and Nerd podcast.
Nice.
So I'm sure there will be very much geekology going on there because he is the nerd of the Jock and Nerd.
Nice.
Yeah, it's Anthony and Imran and Rug Boy. Anthony's the jock, Imran's the nerd, and Rug Boy is the felty American. He doesn't like to be called a puppet. So strange things happen on podcasts, man.
It's true. It's true.
All right. I suppose we should get into some music.
All right.
Music that you're not familiar with.
Yeah.
At least one of them you're not familiar with. You may be with the second. But our one and done this week.
Definitely, I'm not familiar with this at all.
Okay, well, both of these albums, I'll tell you now. No, just this one, just the one and done, just the one and done. All my one and dones for the next about month so far that I have set up are all turning 25 this year.
Wow.
I think. No, 30. They're turning 30 this year, 1992.
Wow.
So 30 years ago, this album came out, and I would expect no one to know it. And if you do, I'm seriously impressed. Maybe Nipsey over there in England, because he's got some pretty deep crates. The name of the album is A Hero Ain't Nothing But a Sandwich. And the name of the group is the A-Team. Now, it is not Hannibal and Face and Murdoch and Beat. No.
No Mr.
This
T
is-
involved in this one.
None at all. This one is, you can't see it through here. A.T.E.E.M. Now, I don't know what it stands for.
I wonder if it stands for anything.
I don't know. Maybe we'll find out. Because I've got like no information on these guys. Like normally I can just go to like Wikipedia and look up somebody's history.
Yeah.
No. I had to go to All Music just to find this album.
Crazy.
So let's see if it sounds any good. Track 1 is the title track, which usually is a recipe for success. We have found that if your title track is track 1, you usually had more albums.
Oh.
But if you
Interesting
bury your title
statistic.
track on your debut, you usually don't have another one.
Huh.
So we're going to play the title track, A Hero Ain't Nothing But a Sandwich.
A hero ain't nothing but a sandwich. That's the deal, here's your spiel. No pop feel, cause when I kick is real. Like Nicky, I let on stream because humidity. Whack MCs like you talk stupidity. I look around the city and see negativity and much poverty. Yet it's still your subject matter is poor. Is it because you wanna sell a bit more? You're soft and mushy and afraid of hardcore.
They're very generic. Oh, Tammy coming through. All around, totally extraterrestrial, entertaining motherfuckers.
All right.
That is a whole lot of shit going on there.
Yeah.
Like, I'm coming up with a group name. That's way too much. That's like,
So here's a little knowledge that I just found when we were listening to this.
Oh,
too, which
nice.
is crazy. So, do you know who Chubb Rock is?
of course I know who Chubb Rock is.
All right, so Chubb
the
Rock,
Chubster.
yeah, so Chubb Rock, who had his own couple hits, and then also
Treat me right.
made an appearance on Back to the Grill with MC Search.
Yep. He was part of the
Um,
Crooklyn Dodgers, hung out with Tevin Campbell.
Yeah, so his backup dancers started A-Team.
Really?
Yup.
Wow.
Yeah, that's crazy to me.
So Chubb's not involved at all.
No, it was just like the dudes that were on stage, like hyping him up. Like, yo.
It's like the
He-
Safari
Heroes ain't
sisters
nothing
leaving
but a
Latifah.
sandwich. Like, yeah, it's like, what is happening? Crazy.
G Wiz and Trouble T Roy leaving Heavy D and going out and putting out an album. Yeah.
Crazy.
But I have seen it happen though. Steezo was a dancer for EPMD and he
Yeah.
had a career.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
And Kango Kid and Dr. Ice were dancers for Houdini and they started UTFO.
Oh my God, really?
Yeah.
I did not know that. That's nuts. That's deep cut.
You learn a little bit. Well, we had Kango on. He was talking about it. So.
That's crazy. Yeah, they were pretty generic. They were like that's definitely 1992. Like,
Yeah. It sounds like we want to be NWA, but we're not quite hard enough.
yeah, well, they're rapping about a sandwich. So it's not quite NWA like
Not
level
quite.
of like lyrical, mastery right there. But
Straight out the deli. I don't know.
yeah,
Well, track 2, they get a little more aggressive
yeah,
on a song called Pass the Pussy.
yeah.
I like that. Yeah.
Ooh.
All that.
It seems like it's 5 5 minutes and 11 seconds of chorus.
Yeah.
Hello.
Here we go.
How you do? My name is Hot Dog, and I'm a nasty ass cute. Forgive me for being forward, but I want the poo poo from you and your crew.
Did you say
My
his
name is
was
Hot Dog, and I want the poo poo from you and your crew.
So that begs another question for their first song. Is a hot dog a sandwich?
Oh, so you're gonna just spin people up now.
That should have been their third track.
Man, I want to know who else. I actually remember Hot Dog. I didn't know he was a dancer. I didn't know he was a rapper either. It's just one of those names that Chubb Rock throws out.
All right, yeah.
Like Grand Poobah yells out Stunt Doogie and Alamo. I don't know who those guys are, but those are names that I always knew.
But you know them, yeah.
Yeah. So track 3, I do not believe that Luda or Ursher are involved, but it's called Yeah.
Yeah. One, Rob Swinger. One, FM, Hot Dog. One, the A-Team. One,
Oh, do you like it? Yeah. Or do you want it? Yeah. Or do you need it? Yeah. When it's on. When it's on.
Yo, baby, that's it. I like to suck your leg in the barbecue dip, and if you let me, it will be a treat. No surrender, no retreat. Haven't anybody so your lips so damn fine. From the rate from 1 to 10, I rate your butt a 9. Okay.
He'd rate her butt a 9.
Right. All right. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, indeed. Okay, the next track is a 24-second interlude, and we're just going to let that roll right into track number 5 called Get It On, Original. Must be an extra crispy one later. That's a hell of an interlude.
Oh, they should have used that as a beat.
I know, right?
Three. 4. There we go.
The Swinger. Complex lyric, but no gimmicks. I use a little map with just a smidgen of some physics. A mental structure builds a large sculpture of the mastermind that I'll be in the near future. My brain's like a computer, plus I'm much cuter.
Huh.
Yep.
They sure do like to count it in.
They do, over like 16 bars of counting.
Yeah, like, come on, guys.
Track number 6 is Come On, Baby, Let's Swing It.
Got my man FM, Kurt Bone, Rob Swinger.
Rob Swinger, that's another name I know.
Yeah.
No clue who he is.
Rock, yeah. And I'm hot digging it, dog. I'm cracking and stopping and dropping, cause I'm a ringleader and I'm a wing eater. So if you're coming to give me revenue, better
It's a ringleader and a wing eater.
When I'm sticking a verse, and when I'm living it up and giving it up, it just gets worse. They got a break out and give it a Rob Swinger and bring another so the
Huh.
Yeah, Rob Swinger is another name that Chubb Rock mentions. Again, no clue who he is.
Hey, all his boys, apparently.
Yeah. Like Mo D used to shout them all out at the end of the album. Keith, and Hump.
Yeah.
Track number 7 is simply titled Come.
Can I see your naked? If I was your girlfriend, you'd like to see your naked.
You say, if I was your girlfriend, you'd let me see you naked?
Yeah.
That's a little creepy.
Sounded like Barry White.
Well, they're trying to be everybody.
Yeah.
So- 1, 2, 3, 4.
They haven't counted us in yet. We don't know.
Oh, there's
yet.
Chubb.
Like a dog, cause I'm smart. Smarter than the average bear, yeah. Sip on a Ziploc fresh bag, cause I care. Cause I'm not going to kill myself over that little triangle. When I hit it on an angle, you might strangle your man.
Huh.
That was actually Chubb Rock.
Yeah.
So that one, I would probably would have listened to that verse.
Yeah, I wonder if that was his and they just had it on their record, maybe.
Maybe it was a throwaway of his song, one
Yeah.
of his verses, and they're like, no, come use it over here.
Yeah.
Track number 8. A lot of people probably looking for this one. Sister Morphine. We just want more hate.
Morphine needs make my heart bleed. To know in life you just can't succeed. What's holding you back is this long track of your arm. It's more deadly than crack or smack. See, it's blowing your mind away day by day, and I wish I could see that. You gotta get these right.
Get any some price?
Yeah.
Yeah. Track 9 is Well of 1,000 Souls. Like a Rob Zombie
scary.
movie or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. 8 million stories in a naked city, and here's one. Hey, little, please put away the fiddle. This is not a riddle, but listen up a little. I see a war with babies in the middle. Don't believe me, then visit a hospital. 20 crack babies into that AIDS. The Wells version of a modern day slave. Choose the system, and it will listen. Nobody will listen.
Okay, I may be taking myself back a little too far, but you remember the song Deeper Shade of Soul?
Yeah.
Didn't it sound like that?
A little bit. Yeah.
Deeper
yeah.
Shade of Soul.
Yeah. Yeah, they definitely like have like that. Hey, that kind of sounds like these guys, like almost every song that they're doing. Like,
well, I guess that's what happens when you're backup dancers.
Yeah.
Trying to put out an album. You don't have your own sound.
Yeah.
You know, you've been around all these other people, and you're like, oh well, that I liked that one. Let's try that.
Yeah.
Track number 10 is 1, 2. You Don't Stop.
Oh boy, we're gonna get more counting.
How many times are we gonna count 1, 2?
My job is rhyming hard. I have suits, linen suits. The only suit I don't have is a lawsuit. You know I knock boots, rhyme.
I knock boots.
Yes.
Good for you guys.
Who was that, Candyman? We'll
Yeah.
still end up knocking the boots. Ooh, boy, I love you. Okay.
Goodness.
See all this stuff you miss when you're not here?
Exactly.
Track number 11 is the answer, I guess, that they gave when somebody came up with the name of the group. They're like, yeah, let's use all of that.
All of that. Use all of that.
Once again on the scene, hot dog the slickster, the true blue trickster, your chubs you rob, pick a squaw. The chubster picks her, and I go gets her. I hold the elixir in my palm. The vixen checks me wearing a smile. I get me on. Jazzy like B, I go for mine.
Okay, so basically what I got out of that was Chub Rock picks out a girl and Hot Dog goes and gets her.
Yep. All of that.
All right. Track 12.
Another
maybe
interlude.
hopefully this is good as the first one. 32 seconds of Interlude 2. And it's going to roll right into what can only be the hit from this album.
Right.
Let Me Hear You Say Ho. H-O-E.
Yeah.
Why do hoes get excited when we call them hoes and bitches?
First of all, can I call you Chubbs?
Yeah.
I don't think a hoe is a garden tool. Why do you call women a garden tool?
Hoe.
I mean, come on.
But you're a hoe.
I'm not a hoe.
They're hoes.
I'm not a hoe.
Hoes, hoes, hoes.
I'm not a hoe.
Hoes.
Like, oh my God, I'm serious.
Ho.
Take that back.
Hoes, hoes, hoes.
Take that back.
You're a hoe.
I am not a hoe.
Ho, ho,
I am
ho.
not. I am not. I am not. Then you're dying.
Yeah. Ready, Chubb?
Word up.
Oh, I hear Chubb again.
Treat 'em like a single.
There he is.
Platinum gold. Just the select EP sold. Copies out the ass of my stage show. Had to surprise other motherfuckers so their career won't crash.
Right.
Rock the crowd in Philly, rip shit up in Detroit. Back by New York, cause I live there. Street reap the benefits of a good stage show until at Howard University. University, this university hole with the night train stench.
With the night train stench.
Hmm.
Now
That was
that's
a throwback to House Party again, when the principal says, "Why would he call his mama a garden tool?"
garden tool. And that song's 1 minute and 38 seconds long. Now, like everything else on here is 5 minutes, 4 and change.
Yeah,
And I guarantee you that that's 1 minute and 38 seconds of Chub Rock, where they say, "Come
Yeah.
on, Chub, just do one for us."
yeah.
And the final track on the album is to Get It On
Special guest Marvin Gaye.
remix.
Yeah.
the extra crispy. Yes.
The swinger, complex lyric, but the gimmicks. I use a little bathroom just to split up some physics. A mental structure builds a large sculpture of the mastermind that I'll be in the near future. My brain's like a
So as much as I can remember track 5, I'm going to say track 14, the remix was a better version.
Yeah. I'll agree with that.
Yeah. So one of the things I usually like to do to try to figure out, when there's no information for an album or limited information,
Yeah.
I like to try to guess what ones may have been singles. And I do that based off of the number of plays on Spotify, because there's no other way for me to even guess.
Right.
According to this, there are no plays for any song on this album. So I don't know
No
what your
way.
minimum threshold is before they start counting. Is it like 1,000? Is it?
I don't know. I'm gonna
100?
guess probably like 1,000. I would say.
Okay, well, no one has played any of these songs 1,000 times. So what I may do is just put this on repeat and just
There you
run
go.
it throughout the
Bring it
night
up.
and see if I can get some numbers for them.
I want to see the N22 your Spotify playlist being like, you just love A-Team. Spotify like literally breaks in half because they're like, what does that even mean?
You are the only listener. You're not even in the top. Like every
Top
year,
0.01% of
I come in top 001 for Gangstar every year.
Yeah.
Because I'll just walk through the house and tell Google or Alexa, whoever, to play Gangstar.
Yeah.
And it just goes while I'm working. If ever A-Team shows up on my list, you have permission to take my subscription away.
Good to know. Good to know.
But I may give them a couple spins just to see if I can get their numbers to appear. So maybe somebody will go, who?
That would be great. Get them on your show and get the full like VH1 behind the music story of A-Team.
All I want to know is where the fuck their name came from.
Absolutely.
The rest of it, I don't even care.
Oh, wow. Incredible. I'm glad I did not even try to look that up before this, because that was all new to me, and that was great.
That's the best way to do it. I mean, if you know it and go, oh man, I haven't listened to that in years, let me go refresh. That's one thing. If you've never heard of it, it's best to go in cold.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't have that luxury. I have to go through and make sure it's an actual hip hop album. Not just like, oh, we're going to name ourselves this and then we're going to sing R&B. No,
And then
no, I have been in the early days, after I went through everything that I could just think of off the top of my head, and I started digging through stuff. It's like artists, people also like these people. And I'd go and I'd find something. I'm like, I have never heard of these people. Let me add that to the list. And then I went and listened to it like day of the show. And I'm like, oh no, that's not going to work. Like I've got one on here. It's Punk Barbarians.
Uh-huh.
They've got like 9 albums, but they did one hip hop album and Kool Keith was on it.
Oh,
So they're on our one and done list.
There you go.
Yeah. That would be like one of my ultimate guests, to have Kool Keith on the show and talk to him about his multiple personalities and personas.
God, it'd be amazing. It'd be a hard interview, but it would be amazing.
It would. So I'd like to ask Black Elvis, but he's okay. I will talk about Kool Keith all the time. Kool Keith has multiple people that show up on different albums. They're all him.
Yeah.
But they show up on different albums. And all of a sudden, like 5 years ago, I get this article. It says Kool Keith is doing this and this and this and this, and he's tasting wines, and he is now Fly Ricky the Wine Taster. That's one of his people now. That dude's not putting an album out. Why do you need... So, like, you can't book Kool Keith for this, but Fly Ricky the Wine Taster would be happy to be there.
Goodness.
So I don't even know who I would invite on the show. I say, nope, Kool Keith's busy.
Yeah.
Dr. Octagon's free, though.
I'll take it.
Yeah, sure. Does he know anything about what Keith's doing right now? Probably not.
Probably not.
No, they don't talk. Jesus Christ. All right. So our record of the week is a little more popular. It has some plays. It was released on January 10th of 1995. Recorded in D&D Studios. That's a famed studio right there.
Yeah.
DJ Premier does a lot of work there. Let's see. What information can I give you that's interesting? Probably nothing. Produced by Buckshot. The Beat Miners. That's big. And Drew Friedman. It's just odd. You got Buckshot, the Beat Miners, and Drew Friedman.
And Boot Camp Click.
Yes. Yeah, I think, Drew Friedman is co-founder of Duck Down Music.
Yeah.
So, Oh, and Buckshot's an executive producer. Sorry. The Beat Miners are, it's going to be a lot of DJ Evil D work on here.
Yeah.
But anyway, the album that we're talking about is from Smith & Wesson, and it's called The Shinin'. Now, this is one of those albums, because I can give you some firsthand knowledge of this one. It's kind of like an MOP album. Like, when you put it on, you should be ready to get worked up and excited. This is not I'm on a road trip, I need to listen to a song to kind of get... No, it's not that kind of album. But, yeah. This is one I think a lot of people know. And if not, they should know at least one song. And according to this, that song has 19,931,000 listens. So
believe it.
But we'll start off with track 1. And it's called Tim's and Hood Check.
Out of Bucktown, starting mad truck. Radar hard rock, we break your block down the front. Perform a construction like a storm when we rush. Raise a cane, hip shots, graze your brain. It's ripping down like thunder pound, make a brother wonder now.
Yeah, so this is not just cruising through town, bobbing your head music. This is I might have to go to the gym today music.
Yes, for sure.
Not that I've gone in about 3 years, but I would have to if I were listening to this regularly. Track number 2 is called Wreck Time.
Wreck Time.
One time, is it Wyclef?
You're too light to fight, plus you're too thin to win. And who you gonna call when I break your glass chin? Miss the Ripper, slicker than your sister. Turn down the light, she got hit by the fixer. Keep a lid on your lips so your wig won't get split. Better have your joint cut, my hands coming off my hip. This little nigga pump the lad.
You can already tell why Smith & Wesson had more albums than the A-Team.
Yeah.
I mean, it's clear from jump. There is much more talent here. The production's 100 times better. Track number 3, although it's spelled like they have a victory, it's called One Time.
One Time.
before I lay my head down to rest. I roll up a nickel sack cassettes to relieve the stress. The herb and the calisthenics do a nigga justice. They fake cause I'm a slick and can't be trusted. I put up with none of them punks who front shit, even though somebody...
Track number 4 is Recognize.
Yeah. For the 90 now. 90 now. All heads realize. Recognize. Real heads on the rise. Recognize my brother. Camp coming through. 1, 2, 3. 3, 2, 1. Represent my son. Show him how it's done. Yeah. What up? I heard that you got a little prob with the way that we roll in the heads we done raw. Sticking and flicking the bangers, throwing them out to your neck. Another beat down inflicted by the nigga tech. And for your backstabbers, yeah, I got the sharp dagger. And the left hook that'll cause your jawbone to shatter. Who's skilled enough to come test the weed at 2? Titans from Bucktown that the burn through your crew.
Yeah, serious talent gap between.
Totally.
Track number 5 is Soundboy Braille. Just doesn't sound right coming through like that. It's like, boom, bye bye in the body boy.
Now who the rude boy want come test dog? I find his family, the ID him in the mall. I bet you never thought that was.
You know, these guys come from the era that Bill and I came from. Like, you grew up listening to DJ Red Alert and Chuck Chill Out. Kiss FM Friday and Saturday nights, 9 to midnight. And Red would always start his shows with like 4 or 5 dance hall tracks. We had no idea who Shelly Thunder was, who Barrington Levy was, who Chaka Demus was. No idea. But Red Alert gave you that because he knew you were coming to hear hip hop, and he wanted you to know, okay, a lot of hip hop got its influences from this music. Let me spin some of this for you too. So Smith & Wesson is one of those artists that brought those guys in and said, okay, we know who you are. We want to show everybody else who you are.
Yeah.
So I like that. You know, anytime I find an old album that has like Shaba or Barrington Levy or Yellow Man or something like that mixed in there somewhere, whether they sampled it or whether they had them on the album with them, those are always my favorites.
Yeah.
You know, when Heavy D worked with Supercat and stuff like that. All right. Track number 6 is KIM.
Oh, Marshall Mathers girl.
Yeah. Wonder if it has anything to do with entertaining motherfuckers. Or if that's...
We gotta keep it moving. We gotta keep it moving. When the spilling get straight up, we gotta keep it moving. When shit just ain't right, yo, we gotta keep it moving. Who's that knocking at my door? I hope it's a friend of me, cause we at war with the enemy. We keep eyes out for spies out in our cipher. I'll tripe if I take a life, then I'm a die a life.
If I take a life, I'm a die a lifer. You don't hear stuff like that now.
You don't.
And then, okay, track number 7 is the hit from the album.
Yep.
And if you know Smith & Wesson at all, you know this song, and it's called Bucktown.
I know this song because of Yo MTV Raps.
Ah, see?
Once again, Smith & Wesson in the joint one time. Pulling the coast to this newness in 94. You know what I'm saying? Lock your doors, nobody's safe. You know what I'm saying? Check it out. I walk around town with the pound strapped down to my side. No front end just in case I gotta smoke something. Round here, heads don't act the age. It might be another dead boy on page. Into the cipher with your lighter. L's are ready. Prepare for another all night. But keep a watch for the cops, cause they rock Glocks. Coming on the block trying to rock knots.
That's one of those songs I get caught up in so quickly that I could have just let the whole thing run and go, oh no, I didn't turn it off.
Yeah.
Track number 8 is called Stand Strong.
With the pound strapped down. That's only because it's mad real in Bucktown. It gets mad deep in the streets when you got to watch your back for beasts, enemies, even your peace. I step to my business, stand strong on my own too. Do what I have to do to get true. If you're for real, then you know the deal. I do or die, and I never ran, never will. They break sneaks upon my camp once more. Niggas drowning in blackness, stretched on the floor. Breakfast is served that killer.
Track number 9 is called Next Shit. He be on some next shit. See, I could just sit and listen to that as an instrumental.
Yeah.
You like that ASMR stuff.
Yeah.
The rain and the tapping going on. I'm sure that's what the beat miners were thinking. Track number 10 is Session at the Doggerly.
Dog.
Got that? Yes.
I'ma like this motherfucking I flow fluidly. Who I be that beating of your beeswax? He's back for what squeeze gats. We don't need that, do we? Rap style groupie. A dog like Tim, that's why you're scared to step to me. Do we have to be?
That one was just rude. A dog like Tim and you're scared to step to me.
Not of what I am or what I do. Just recognize when I'm on the mic.
Tim Dog is quite the story. Do you
Yeah.
remember Tim Dog?
Vaguely.
His
I know what you're talking about.
His biggest deal was fuck Compton.
Right. That's right. Yeah.
So yeah, he like basically faked his own death and then died in like a nursing home somewhere or a hospice care. Or something. It was very weird.
Weird dude.
Track number 11 is Hallucination.
Hell.
Two pieces.
Hell
of
is for
biscuits,
children
no
and Smith and
motherfucking
Wesson.
coleslaw, no mashed potatoes. You know what I'm saying?
Hell's for Smith and Wesson.
Yeah. Big up, man. Yeah.
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 Sitting on the toilet, shit and puffing the dough. Strobe light effect, everything's moving slow. Slip into a deep zone, the sound at the phone bring me home, stagger to my feet.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how many times I can say there's a distinct production value increase between last album and this album. Track number 12 is not done by Motley Crue, but it is titled Home Sweet Home.
Home Sweet Home.
Straight up. For all the cannabis sativa smokers out there in Bucktown, we doing it like this. Check it out. This is the story of a place that we call home, where the kids pack heat when it's time to roam. Everybody's on a scramble, life's a gamble. Hopping on the white horse, trying to get a handle on the fast pace that we call the last.
All right.
Yeah. Track number 13 called Wipe Your Mouth.
Mouth.
Indeed.
Come on. Yo, can I ask a question? The niggas that dick ride can't get on this, right? I'm saying, right? Niggas who dick ride ain't supposed to say nothing. They supposed to just hear this. It's for y'all, man. Get this up.
Yeah. Yo. This is Smith and Wesson on the Diggy Low in D&D Studio. Blazing up nothing but the raw endo. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. We about to do it like this 2 times for your mind. Your son, hit him with the wickedness 1 time. Walking down the street, watching you.
There's your gin and juice right there.
I was gonna say,
Your
like,
childhood.
there you go.
Track number 14 is called "Let's Get It On," but it's GIT. So
Get.
I don't think these peeps know. Yo, it's finally on for real, dude. Brothers better recognize Smith and Wesson up in the chain. Bucktown Bull Cat. Bring it, son.
Raised like a rock on the block with the cops carry and the hard rocks carry with props and black hearts. Meet up with my peeps on the corner in the morning. Get zoned, get on, and prepare to get it on. What does it take to get the break in the world of snakes and those who fake? Maybe a taste of this here. True.
Ah.
Yeah.
Track number 15 is PNC Intro. Isn't that a bank?
Representing for the 99 shot, we be Smith and Wesson. Representing the boot camp, like, you know what I'm saying?
So it's a 1:06 introduction into a song called PNC. So let's just jump to the actual song.
We never out. Niggas used to always be bugging back in the day. Niggas used to be bug wild, right?
And this sounds like the intro.
All right. Needed an intro for the intro.
Yes.
So let me hit this.
Sound like outro.
Kick that shit. Yo.
Before I go to bed, I take an L to the head. Reminisce over words that was once said by my man. God rest his soul, I was told stand bold. When under pressure, don't fold to my brother. My nigga Rambo, you know we love you. I wish it was around.
I'm gonna guess he doesn't mean John Rambo, but I could be wrong.
You could be wrong. Stranger things have happened.
So that was The Shining.
Yeah.
By Smith and Wesson. And let's see. Charting action. We got charting action. The album reached number 59 on the Billboard 200. Number 5 on the top R&B and hip hop albums. Year end, they were actually 75 on the top R&B and hip hop albums.
All right.
Bucktown made it to number 93 on the Hot 100, 61 on the US R&B, 14 on the US rap charts, and number 1 on the US dance sales. I don't see it as a dance song.
I don't either, but all right.
Yeah. Let's Get It On hit number 14 on the US rap charts. Recognize hit 95 on the US R&B, 29 on the US rap, and 5 on the US dance. Soundboy Burrell hit 29 on the US rap charts. One time hit 48 on the US rap charts and 18 on dance sales. So they had 5 singles that charted off of this album.
It's crazy.
It is. I mean, while they are a very well-known group, it's not one of those singles releasing groups, you know?
Right, right.
But, you know, we're talking Bucktown. You're looking at the OMTV Raps era.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's the era of the single. So who knows? All right.
Crazy.
So yeah, so we will never go and listen to the One and Done again.
No.
Which was the A-Team, and with some ridiculous name for their album, A Hero is Just a Sandwich or something. A hero ain't nothing but a sandwich.
Ain't nothing but a sandwich.
Record of the week was Smith and Wesson, The Shining. Artist of the month is Cool G Rap. So for those of you who don't understand what we do with our Artist of the Month, go out and listen to them all the time. But when you go to sleep at night, put your streaming service on that artist and turn your volume down and just let it play throughout the night and get them paid. I mean, it's pennies, but you know, enough of us do it.
Yeah.
Get them paid.
Yeah.
All right. So we're going to take our final break of the evening, and we're going to come back with a segment we like to call Jeff reads lyrics.
Oh God.
So make sure you come right back. Episode 421, Miss Throwback Thursday podcast. Yay, yay.
Oh goodness.
Okay. You should know, in case you don't see the exclamation points, this is Gail's favorite part of the show ever. Anyway. So it is a little extra bonus for her for you to be reading them.
All right. I'm gonna do my best.
Artist of the month, Tammy, was Cool G Rap.
Cool G Rap. Juice Crew.
Yes.
Bring it back. Bringing up MC Shan. How many times can we bring up MC Shan? That's twice.
Yeah. How many times must MC Shan get dissed?
Jeez. Like,
yeah.
I'll break into Informer if you really want me to.
He was our, I want to say our second one and done. Snow,
yeah.
Yeah. Who has 6 albums? Did you know he had 6 albums?
It's crazy. No, it's absolutely crazy the amount of music that he's put out.
He was not allowed to cross the border to promote any of it.
Not at all.
Because of Informer.
Yeah. Yep. My dream when I was in college was if I didn't want to like go into any like trade or profession or anything, I was just going to try and win lip sync contests to and open mics and that kind of thing to Informer, just wherever I was.
Nice.
Yeah.
Or you could do Lonely Monday Morning.
Oh God. Goodness.
Yeah, who picks the? I pick the lyrics. I always pick the lyrics. and there's a reason, Glenn. I picked the lyrics. We used to put it open to anyone. Send us lyrics and send them to me because Bill can't know. And in this case, Jeff can't know.
I don't know.
Send me your choice of lyrics, but they've got to be artists from, we'll say the 70s. They have to be artists from the 70s to the 90s.
Yeah.
They can be songs from yesterday, but the artist has to have been active in the classic era. Yeah, people used to send us lyrics, and then people stopped, so I had to start doing it. And then nobody hits us up anymore. Nobody does anything anymore. I can't say anything. We got a lot of badass patrons, and I can't say. And you're gonna hear all their names later. Well, just our loonies levels and higher, but
yes.
Have I told you about our patron levels?
Yeah.
We got the Gerardo level, which is, he's technically a rapper, so you're technically a patron. And there was the extra cheese level, because extra cheese costs $2.
Yeah.
The loonies level, $5. The Bring the Noise level is $10. That's Public Enemy. And then the Cool Keith level is $25 because you, like Cool Keith, are out of this world.
Yeah.
See, Glenn was here for Shit Pit. Shit Pit was a great one. Said no one ever. That was an awesome episode. That was probably the best. That one was even better than Anal Tongue Darts. That was
which was classic.
Yeah, both of those had me crying though. That's the sad thing. I know the lyrics.
Yeah.
I read them yesterday, the day before. I know them all. But going in and seeing his face when he just sees them, that's when I tend to lose it. I will tell you, I tried not to be too difficult on you.
Well, thank you.
Just a little bit, but not. It is an extended version.
Oh, no.
Because, I don't know when you're coming back, so I got to make sure I get you.
All right.
Let's see. One or two. Yeah, I think we're going to do verse 1. And I say verse 1 like it's not. Like it's actually separated. It's not. You'll see.
All right. I'm in it. I'm
all right.
ready, I think.
All right. Let me pull up my drop here. Let me mute that. How about, since we just did, I was going to do Chuck D, but since we just did Smith & Wesson, how about we do this? All right. Yes, deep breath. All right, we're gonna hit this drop, and then we're gonna come in with Jeff reads lyrics for the first time. So let's do that with a Stree. Who's your mama?
I'm told up from the flow up, and everything's black, but still I'm on point, ready to buck, ain't nothing sweet, Jack. Bucktown, I represented on the love. Deeply rooted from my Timbs to my dick.
Yo, check this out, this is them boys, PNC boys, New York, VA, what's happening?
Let my tool click, nowhere to run.
Smith and Wesson, Mr. B.
Without the smirks while you're getting torn apart.
It's the Throwback Thursday podcast. Gotcha.
I roll to the boot camp. Home with the original gun clap. Home with the original gun clap. Home with the original gun clap.
Okay. Normally I would hit your intro here, but I have to play one more drop for you because you've never actually gotten to hear this one.
All right.
So let's do this one.
What's up, everybody? This is Kane from Death Wish Coffee Company. You are listening to Jamie and Bill on Mr. Throwback Thursday, the only place to get your hip-hop news. New school sales. Old school. Let's go.
Here we go. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45.
My name is Jeffy. Jeffy.
Nice.
You get your own intro.
That's amazing. That's amazing. I'm honored.
Now, do you know why I chose the song I chose for Kane's drop?
Because it had kind of the name of his hip hop band in there.
That's where he got the name from.
Yeah.
Was from AC Alone.
Yeah.
I'm the only one who gets it, but I'm the one who made it, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah. No, it totally works.
All right, so you're all here, as you heard, with the fancy new intro for Jeff reads lyrics. So what I have to do is I have to gather the motherfucking piano because I didn't have that ready because I was playing drops. All right, there we go. Because we have to have the motherfucking piano. It's key.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go up here, and I'm going to copy this lyric. And I'm going to go over to StreamYard. I'm going to go into the private Shizat, and I'm going to send it over to Jeff, just like that. And you should see it in your private chat.
All right, I got it.
All right.
So am I doing this whole thing? What am I doing here?
The whole first. I mean, it's all the way down to the word vet.
I gotcha.
All right.
I gotcha.
So with no type of ado, Sesame Street Grover style, whether nearer or further, we will cue the motherfucking piano.
All right. Here we go. Yo. Too short, baby. I'm so hard. Pimping these hoes on the boulevard. But I'm not here to tell you about me. I got a little story about a nasty freak. She's the kind of girl you think about in bed. Blowjob Betty, giving real good head. Bust a left nut, right nut in her jaw. Sperm on her cheeks is all you saw. She could blow more head than a whale blows water. Blowjob Betty, make your dick get harder. She's a one of a kind, a hell of a girl, a trip and a half around the world. Catch her getting busy, bitch wouldn't stop. She's that kind of girl that'll make your toes pop. Every time I used to see her, I would know what's up. Blowjob Betty better blow me up. I remember the day when I first met her. Bitch kinda loose, so I knew I'd get her. Walked up to her and said, my name is Short, just what you've been looking for. Pimp is my game. I do it the best. Ho fuck with me. She don't get no rest. Well, after that, I G'd the freak. I used to stop by and fuck about twice a week. And from the very first time I went to her house, walked in the door and stuck my dick in her mouth. Short dog'll get bitches anytime I wanna. Got a big dick, lay it right on her tonsils. Only stick it in about halfway back. Cause if I put it all in, it busts straight through her neck. Niggas always saying how they fucked that bitch. But I'm that only that bitch made rich. Like any other tramp, she loved to fuck. With any motherfucker, got nuts to suck. I spit game to the bitch just like this. Why you running around sucking all that dick for no money? It didn't take long to stay true to the game and get my pimping on. But every once in a while, you get a stupid hoe. Bitch ain't about money and she'll never know how to get it. Blowjob Betty was dumb. A friend for a fuck and a mouthful of cum. She made money for a minute, but she loved the sex. So I cut the bitch loose like an old school vet.
Well done, sir. And such is the ballad of Blowjob Betty.
She was quite the dumb hoe.
She's a hoe. Faux show.
Oh my God. So funny. It was a happy ending.
Yeah, of course. No, you don't know how it ends. That was only the first verse.
It's true. It's true.
Ah, yes. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was epic. I'm touched. I got to experience that.
You put that in your LinkedIn profile. I
Definitely.
got to read
Put that on my
Jeffrey's
resume.
lyrics. Ah,
Bringing it all the way back to Too Short. Full
of course.
circle, full
You like how we
circle, right
did that.
away. Yeah. Absolutely.
Ah, all right. Now, let me put up the contest winner before I forget, because the last time I did a contest, I had my friend Alfredo on. I went through all the closeout and everything, got to the end, signed off, and I went, shit. So I ended up having to pull it up and end up doing it. I recorded it and whatnot, but I was like, oh man. It's all right. So we're gonna do the drawing here, and we're gonna hit this button here that says draw, and it's gonna go through everybody who said, who used the hashtag, and the winner will be Rob Jeffroy. I give him this.
There we go. Way better.
So Rob, I believe I have your address, but hit me up anyway and send it to me just in case I don't, and I will get you this fancy 1 pound bag of OG Death Wish coffee, and probably some other crap that I pull out of the prize box down here.
Yeah.
And you never know what comes out of the prize box. It's like, I got this.
Look at that. Well, that's old school.
I know. I got this.
Nice.
I got all kinds of stuff in here. I got bootleg shit.
Look at that. doesn't even exist.
Nope, I got all kinds of stuff down there. So anyway, who knows what I'll put together? I got keychains, I got bottle openers, blah blah blah. And somebody, Rob's gonna get a bunch of that.
Yeah.
'Cause I don't like to keep it in the prize box. I got some really cool stuff in the prize box that's actually hip hop related that I need to give away, but I need to come up with a good enough contest for some of it because some of it's really fucking cool.
Yeah.
I got my Little People Jam Master J.
Oh,
Nobody gets that.
No.
My you won't be able to see this because of the green, but my Snoop on a Stoop.
Excellent.
Have you seen this?
Oh, that's awesome. That is adorable and awesome.
Little shot glass. Hey, that's my last one of those, so I can't give that one away. But I got a lot of cool stuff that's not that.
Heck yeah.
All right. Now it's time in the show where we thank our friends of the show. I think we're going to start with the world's strongest coffee. Friends of the show, Death Wish Coffee.
Yeah.
You can get their coffee at deathwishcoffee.com. If you use the code TBT, we'll save 12%. Jeff can't be part of me saying that because we can't be on the same platform saying the same things. But so he's not here right now. But yes, go over to deathwishcoffee.com and order a whole bunch of shit. You should also, since the weather is still chilly for most of us, go over to Bittersweet Candy Company at bittersweetcandy.com and get some of Heather's chocolate. It is small batch, handmade, different, and
delicious.
Yes. So make sure you go and get some of that. You can use our code over there, throwback, and that saves you 10%. Melted Mics, MLTDMICS.com. That's Pumice T. Mandola, and he's got some of the coolest fucking shirts you're ever going to want. You go over there, use our code Mr. Throwback Thursday, save 10% over there. Let's see. May as well go into shout outs because that's actually the longest portion of the show. And we're going to give shout outs to our Loonies level patrons and above. And we will start off with Gail Dunmeyer, Manny Baez, Sarah Henderson, John Henderson, Hugo Gonzalez, who is our West Coast correspondent, Sanket Patel, Teresa Lynn, Simple Luxuries at teresalynns.com, Kat Malark, Clay Arsenault, Jason Eckert, The Shrieking Warrior, Jennifer Buchanan, Jacob O'Neill, Jason Heath, Paulie Tibbert, Chris Kinsley, Jessica Walker, Deshauna Townley, Shane Hatley, Ricky Schnarr, Kenneth Elsfelder, Brian Hollenbeck, and Robert Jeffroy, who just won a bag of coffee. And we thank all of them every week, not just because we love them, but because they got 5 on it or more. If you want to become a patron, get your name mentioned, go to patreon.com/MRTBT or go to MrThrowbackThursday.com and just click on the patron link. What else? Oh, don't forget all of our friends in the business. You got Anthony, Imran, and Rug Boy over at Jock and Nerd Podcast. Our friend Lion at Lion Like Roar, that's RAWR. Talking Thai over at BrooklynThaiNYC.com and her podcast, What's the Word? And the hardest working turntablist in the world today, and that is DJ B over at Fresh Radio. It's freshradio.com. Do you have anything, Jeff, before we say goodbye?
No, man, this was great being here. Thanks so much for giving me the opportunity. I haven't actually podcasted in a while, so blowing the dust off the mic was great. I think we'll be getting some semblance of Fueled by Deathcast back in the near future, which will be a lot of fun. And
you and Nicole,
maybe or something. We got some ideas in the works.
You and something.
Yeah, we got some ideas in the works, which will be cool to bring out. We got a lot of cool stuff, Death Wish Coffee wise this year. Like I said, look out for maybe golden ticket coming soon. Maybe
this show comes out on Thursday.
Yeah, and obviously, I would love to just spill the beans about everything, but one of the things I'm really excited about that everybody's going to learn about probably by the end of this week. If you guys have been following Death Wish Coffee at all over the last 10 years, we're celebrating our 10-year anniversary this year. as a company, and one of the things that we love is giving back and doing stuff with amazing charities around the world. And we're going to be doing something, probably one of the coolest things we've ever done with a charity that we never worked with before, that we're going to be doing, and we're going to be announcing that very soon. And I hope you guys are really excited about it, because a couple different really cool things that are going to come from this. So
nice.
That's all I can say until the official press release goes out very soon. But it's going to be really rad. So,
and and when things like that come out, we will spread them along here.
Absolutely.
And yeah. So until next time, wash your hands, wash your butt, keep it classic, and always remember, new school stale, old school fresh.